Hi guys, Andy here. Welcome to my review of the Huawei Mate 20 Pro. There's been a bit of controversy, I would say, with the Mate 20 Pro. A lot of reviews came out 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I think following on from a Huawei event where I think they gave out a lot of phones to YouTubers. I think people have then got hold of their Mate 20 Pros and they found a lot of faults that weren't mentioned in all of these initial reviews. So I think they're saying basically that these people that received the free phones felt obligated to give a good review, basically. I can tell you now, I bought this myself. This is my own Huawei Mate 20 Pro. I've been using it for, I think, over a week now. So, I mean, even if I've been sent, so Sony sent me the 2XL, what was it called? And it wasn't a great phone. I said it wasn't a great phone. I don't know if they'll ever send me a phone again, but that's just how I would hope I would not be swayed by the fact that I've been given something free and that I want to be given free things in the future. I do generally buy all my own phones. If you want to help out, go to my website. There's various different ways you can help out. I'd really appreciate if anyone did. I am on Patreon. Even if you give a couple of, well, dollars I think is on there. A couple of dollars a week, a month I think it is. Every little bit helps because I do buy almost all of my devices are bought phones. I guess let's send little bits and pieces. Anyway, so I've never had a Huawei that has been in the running to be my daily device. I've used Huawei's. I really liked some of the Honor devices. Honor 8, I think I tried the Honor 9. The Honor 10 sounds really good. I've not tried it yet. But I've never really had one that's been vying for being my daily. And I think the P20 Pro kind of led the way, broke the barriers. I've never even used a P20 Pro, but everyone said how amazing the camera was, and it kind of opened my eyes a little bit to Huawei. Made me look at them, take them a little bit more seriously perhaps. So when the Mate 20 Pro came along and everyone said this is even better, I thought I need to have a look at this phone. A lot of those YouTube videos were very positive and made me think I'm definitely, this is in the running now. So I've got the Note 9, I've got the Huawei Mate 20 Pro, and I've got a Pixel 3 XL. And there will be a video in the next week or two of me deciding which one of these I'm going to keep, and I honestly do not know which one it'll be at the moment. Anyway, I'm waffling on a little bit now, so let's move on to looking at the actual device, and we'll start with the design. It's quite a sort of shiny and slippy design. Some of them, I'm told, have like a textured back which gives them more grip. This black version does not. So it is quite slippy, and it is one of the first phones that I've generally been using a case for almost all the time. I mean, it's not, I don't think I would drop it, but I don't know, I do worry a little bit that because it is that slippy. Perhaps the first thing to notice is that it does have a notch. Now, you can't see it really at the moment because they do a good job. There it is. I do like they save... So let's kind of turn it back on, so to speak. There is the notch. Now, that is quite a big notch. I know the Pixel 3 XL has taken a lot of stick about the size of its notch because it is a big notch. But it's a deep notch and it's not actually as wide, whereas that's a really wide notch. Probably the surface area wise. Maybe I'll even measure it to work it out at some point, but that's still quite a big notch. There is, though, Face ID scanning technology in there, as well as the front-facing camera, as well as a speaker. There's a lot in there. I'm not a massive hater of notches. I'm okay with a notch. What I do like, though, is how Huawei let you do hide notch, so it blackens out that top bar, but it leaves your notifications and the clock and the battery and stuff in there. What I'm not so keen on is when it wastes the space. Things like the vibration, the NFC one will be in there, the Wi-Fi. So the Wi-Fi, the cell signal, perhaps. I mean, it's got so many at the moment that it can't fit in something. So there's the NFCs now appeared. Even if I took away, if I come out of vibrate mode, oh, it's not doing that. I'm sure. Well, it's okay. There's Bluetooth. I'll turn Bluetooth off. There's NFC is still there, and work mode being off. Oh my goodness! Because I'm fairly sure basically EE will pop up. Basically, there's no way any actual notifications are going to show up in my notification bar until I drag them down, which is a little bit annoying. I'm not entirely sure about the curved glass either. It is really very curved on the edges, and quite honestly, I'm not a massive fan of that. It does mean I think you get more touches, or usually it's just a slight touch is stopping it from doing something else on the screen. That is a bit annoying. I do like the nice red power button there. We've got the volume rocker on the same side. There's quite a small chin at the bottom, which is very nice. If we go over to the back, the lens configuration on the back is quite distinct, shall we say. The big square, 3 lenses and a flash. And it says above them, if you can read that, Leica, because they're Leica lenses. Further down it just says Huawei. Type USB, USB Type-C port, which actually doubles up as the speaker. The speaker comes out of there, it's quite interesting. We've got the SIM tray along the bottom too. There's an IR blaster on the top, I'm fairly sure. To be honest, I haven't used that at all, because that's not really something that I find all that handy, to be honest. The device itself is quite thin, so it's thinner than the Note and the Pixel, which makes it feel really quite small, and it does generally, it feels very good in the hand. I still think I would prefer my slabber phone, where it's just like a flat, and then it's got the edge, and then it's flat on the back, but at the same time it does feel nice in the hand. It's 189 grams, which about 2 or 3 years ago would have been considered very heavy, but these days is actually, like I said, because it's so thin, it feels quite small and light, much lighter. It's quite deceptive. It feels smaller and lighter than it really is. If we talk about the hardware, so it's all highly spec'd, as you would imagine, from a flagship device. Obviously it uses the Kirin, the high silicon Kirin chipset, but the sort of headline, the thing you want to know about here is it's a 7nm chipset, which in theory means it uses less power, it means it's much more efficient, and it should help the battery, which we're going to talk about later in the video. It does have its own sort of, well, not its own, but new memory called nano memory. There is some on Amazon, but it was out of stock when I looked. So the option's there. I don't know if that is something that's going forward. We're going to see more phones using that. I don't know if that's a new thing or not. It's basically the nano SIM sized memory card, which is quite handy. I mean, it basically means the second slot can be doubled up as a memory or a SIM card, only in certain devices. So in the UK, 3 are the only people selling the dual SIM version of the device. But all those specs do mean it Geekbenched up over 10,100, which is fantastic. It's the first device I've ever had that's broken to 5 figures. On Antutu it was scoring, I don't know, was it 287,000, something like that. It's scoring very highly as well, so clearly it's got the power. You will have noticed, or you may have heard already, it does have the in-screen fingerprint sensor, which generally is actually not bad. I mean, it beat the Pixel 3 XL in the speed test in one of my other videos. I've registered a variety of different... You don't have to press the power, right, so it failed there. And it seems to be, I think, I need to re-record my right thumb, because my other thumbs and fingers, that failed. So you can see it's far from perfect. I'd probably give it 60 to 70% success rate, which isn't great, and personally I think I'd have been happier with a 99% success rate fingerprint sensor on the back. But what it does have is Face ID unlock, which is actually really quick. So I'm going to press the power button. I don't know how well it's going to work around the camera. You see that? And you can have it so that is really quick. And actually I found myself just using that. I didn't really even bother using the fingerprint sensor so much. I turn it on, I'm just looking at it, and it unlocks so quick. It skips the slide screen as well, which I always thought was a bit weird on the iPhones. I think you have to do the face unlock, then you have to swipe out of the way. That's just annoying, surely. So it is very quick, and I use that. It does work in the dark. It even worked when I had my motorbike helmet on, so I don't know if it's doing some iris scanning or what. It just, all you could see was my eyes, and it actually unlocked. I was really quite impressed. So Face ID is really very good. There's no headphone jack, you may have noticed as we were looking around. There is a notification LED. See, it's unlocking. I'm not even really looking directly at it. It does work very well. There is a small notification LED up the top there which will flash, which you need because you don't get any notifications on your always on display, which is actually really annoying. I love an always on display. For me, it's a must have in a device these days, and it's almost like they've gone halfway. So I love it because you can see the time. That's just handy, but I love being able to glance to see if I've got notifications. And you can't do that. I mean, you'll see the LED flashing, then you have to press the button, then you will see notifications on your lock screen if you've done all the settings correctly. But it is just a little bit annoying that it's not they're not on the always on display. The only final thing, well, I think I did mention the speakers already, so speaker out the USB port and from the top. Let's give them a quick demo. We'll play a podcast.
There are more cars on the road because of Uber. So I think it may be the case that people are a little bit more skeptical than they used to be, in part because they've already seen where some of this behavior leads.
Yeah, I can't win. I've been a lot gonna cause this pain. Truth in my life. Now it's falling like the rain. So let the river run nice. Everything goes. Nowhere to hide when I'm getting you.
So the speakers, they're not as loud as some that I've got, they're not as loud as the Pixel 3 XL. But they're good, they're enough really, and I think that's probably all you really need. I'm not looking to host a party and have this in the corner playing the music. I'm just looking to be able to hear my podcast when the kettle's boiling, which I can, and to be able to hear people when I'm making phone calls. I use a speaker in my room and I can hear them nice and clear, and I think I even had some feedback that actually I sounded very good on the other end, so the microphone would appear to be pretty good too. I didn't mention as well, with the screen unlock, there is lift to wake. So lift to wake combined with screen unlock means that actually a lot of the time you'll pick your phone up and it's unlocked before you even know what's going on. We'll try it now. That's pretty quick. So I just wanted to mention about the screen. It's a 6.39 inch AMOLED screen with an 87.9% screen to body ratio, which is one of the high ratios you're going to find on a phone at the moment. They are very thin bezels. The curved edges do mean that it's a very high screen coverage on the front of the phone. The screen itself is 3120 by 1440. It's a 19.5 to 9 aspect ratio, and that is 538 pixels per inch density. And I think it looks really very good. Really quite impressive. There's good white balances. It's quite bright. It goes up to sort of 643 lumens was the brightest I got it to go. There are reports of faults though, so if you go to dark screens, lower the brightness, along the edges there's kind of a green hue, like like light leakage almost down the sides. The LG screens, although there is a different version of the screen, is it BOE as a manufacturer? I'm not sure. Everyone I've sort of heard from has LG screens. One poor guy sent it back about 3 times before he's got one that's not got the issue. Mine seems fine, so it's hard for me to comment on it, but something to be aware. You might, if you're looking to buy one, if you normally, especially if you're in America and you normally import, well, you'd have to import, I think, just be very careful. In fact, I would generally try and avoid it. You need to buy from someone that does have a warranty, because if you get one of those bad screens, you want to be able to switch it out basically. So something to bear in mind. Now we're going to move on to where the controversy came from, and that's the software. So the hardware we've talked about is all pretty fantastic, and then we get to the software. There's some good things. So it uses EMUI version 9, which is based off Android 9.0. Good thing. It's actually quite stock. So if you look at the toggles at the top, for example, you look at the notifications, you look even in settings, it is reasonably stock looking, which is, again, is a good thing. I like that you can hide the notch properly. The lock screen, it should, I'm not sure what I've done. So I just changed my lock screen, I'm playing a bit of Red Dead, and it should have this thing called magazine unlock, where it basically uses a different image like this every time you open or you unlock. We turn the screen on, I should say. And again, that's just showing off how fantastic the screen looks. I don't know how well that comes across on the video, but that, oh, it looks gorgeous. Yes, it's called magazine unlock. We can, oh, I lost it. We can get to the settings of it here, where you get to choose what type of images you want in it, and it is turned on. Look, I've tried turning it off. Or I thought, what's it doing? That's interesting. Well, let me turn it off. Anyway, I've tried to turn it off and on, wouldn't come back to me. The gesture animation is actually really good, so let's go in and turn those on. Oh yeah, so this is one of the downsides. You get this high search thing can appear anytime you're swiping down the screen, that appears. So if you're trying to scroll down on something, well, it's not done it there actually, there, that appears instead, which is a little bit annoying and it can't be turned off. Let's go back into settings. I've almost forgot what I was doing now. Oh yeah, so I think 3 key navigation. So we get some different options. I'm just going to turn this one on briefly to show you. It's kind of weird. So you get a little dot that tap it once, you get back. You can drag it around wherever you like. So there's the how you control it, and you can put it wherever you want. Could be useful for some. We're on the regular 3-key navigation at the minute, but I'm going to switch it over to gestures. Now, if I swipe, make sure I'm on. If I swipe up from the bottom, in we go. So we're going to the Play Store. Swipe up from the bottom, and I love the sort of animations. It is very iPhone-y basically. I think it looks beautiful. If I go up and I hold, we get app switcher. And then back is, so if I go into something and go into a game, back is swiping over on the sides. You see the little animation as well. So it's all really nice. The problem being, it only really works on the stock launcher. If we go over and switch over to, again, I'm going to use this, remembered different things I searched for. So I'm going to switch over to Nova Launcher. So I can still go back from the sides, that's fine. When I go home, it does that instead. In fact, even there, it's not gone home, it's gone. So just that a little bit weird. So again, there, it's not worked properly. I don't know for sure. Well, I don't think it's a Nova thing, because you can put other launchers on, it does the same thing. Which is a bit of a shame. Because I really love the animation on the stock launcher, but the stock launcher just isn't very good. There's not even a swipe up to get to your app drawer, there's just the button. It feels like it's... I'm going to have to turn that back off again. In fact, let's turn it off quickly now before I forget. Navigation, 3-finger note, yeah, go back to the regular. There we go. So yeah, just a bit of a shame, because their built-in launcher feels about like it's from 4 years ago or something. But I love the animations, it's a real shame. And the animations don't work properly. I could probably live with the not swiping, it being a bit old. But there were some screens where I basically kind of got stuck and had to go pull down, go into settings, and then come out of that. I'm not sure what was causing that. Not good. Many report the Nova Launcher just won't work. It just crashes, so they can't even run it. So that's not good. Again, it's fine with me on mine. Thought I would mention it though. The UI the UI is very aggressive with its RAM management, and I didn't totally understand what it was doing at first, because I found some settings which I thought was saying don't sleep this app, let it do whatever it was on, and it wasn't doing that. So let's go in. No, it's not, it's battery, sorry. I have to choose my that's quite annoying, I have to do that all the time. App launch is where you want. So we go into that, and then you have to turn off anything you want to be able to run in the background or be able to kind of give you notifications. Even if, so my own app, regular reminders, I just get one notification at 10 o'clock every morning, but if I have it being managed, it will just kill it. Jabra Sport and Jabra Service, Fit. So when I've been at the gym, Google Fit. When I've been at the gym, I couldn't understand why I couldn't pair my earbuds. Well, no, sorry, I could pair them, Bluetooth-wise, but the app couldn't see them. Normally, it can see them and it goes, oh yeah, you've got the Jabra earphones, right, here's the pulse, here's your pulse. And it wasn't doing that. I didn't really understand why. And it basically was killing the Jabra service in the background. So you have to turn off so it doesn't automatically manage it. And then all of a sudden everything worked fine. And you do find there's a lot of different things where it's so aggressive. I mean, it doesn't even wait 10 minutes. It just kills them almost straight away, it seems. So really, we just definitely want to be aware of the very aggressive RAM management. Sure, we've mentioned those. Oh yeah, I mean, I had the same problem. No, it wasn't the same problem. It was a different problem trying to pair my watch. So, funny enough, it is actually a Huawei watch. And it just, I was getting into a bit of a loop, basically, at the point where it needed me to allow the app to read my notifications. It kept kind of crashing almost and going back to the beginning of a loop that came through and got to that point again. And it was only when I realised that's what it was looking to do, was to read the notifications. I went in manually and set the permissions to read the notifications, and then it worked fine. Bit of a pain in the bum. Other things that I'm hearing, things like turning on performance mode on and off, and then the battery percentage vanishes off the top. Now, I even got a performance mode at the minute. I think that comes in a 122 patch. I'm on 108. Apparently, I need a Vodafone SIM to trigger that, so the updates are going through the carriers. I'm on EE. I've ordered a Vodafone SIM, a free one, because apparently you don't even have to have any data on it to put the SIM in, it will trigger the update. So, again, maybe I should have said this earlier, but I'm reviewing the 108 software. 122 is out there. I can't get it. So, that will come soon. So I think the main issue is that people think it feels like using a beta version, and maybe it is. It's one of the first sort of skins that's using Android 9.0, and maybe they've kind of pushed it out too soon, and hopefully in the next few weeks we'll get various different patches, if they get through the carriers, that will fix a lot of the weird bugs that we're seeing. I really hope so. I really hope so. So if we move on to the cameras, the main one is a 40 megapixel f1.8. The ultra wide is 20 megapixels f2.2, and the telephoto lens is 8 megapixels f2.4. The front facing camera is a 24 megapixel f2.0. I like that I can double click volume. I don't know quite why they've done volume rather than power. Like power's used in everything else. You can have it so it takes a picture straight away when it comes up. When you double click. To use the different lenses, you just tap where it says, and it will scroll through the different options. You can tap, hold, and zoom all the way in and out if you prefer. And I have to say, I do really like using the wide angle lens. It's so handy. There's so many times when you just can't fit everything in, so whoop, and it basically gives you, similar to your eyes, if your eyes can see it kind of, I mean, not quite as wide I suppose, because it's not that panoramic, but it's a very similar shot to your eyes, which is really, really handy. I think generally the results from the camera are fantastic. So this and the Pixel 3 XL have to be the two best Android cameras out there at the moment. The colours are a little bit, I wouldn't say faded or bland, but they don't pop quite like some others do. But actually there are different modes that you can enable. So I'll just play you some bits of video showing you the different modes and how they look. This is standard colours. And this is vivid colours. And finally, this is smooth colours. So that's quite interesting. I generally probably will just leave it on normal. I think that's a truer, real reflection of the colours. Low light performance is fantastic. Night mode is, I mean, pretty amazing basically. It takes kind of a 4 seconds, it's like a super HDR I suppose. It takes 4 seconds, takes loads of different sort of exposures, and then builds together a fantastic looking photo. And even when there's moving cars and things, it generally does quite, I mean, some of them are going to blur, but it generally does a really good job of making them look good. The video performance I think is pretty fantastic, but I think I'm having issues when I encode it and then I upload to YouTube and YouTube encodes it, that it looks very jittery. What I see in reality is actually really quite smooth. I think what I'll do, I'll stick some of the original unedited footage on my forum. So if you want to see that, head over to androidandroid.uk and go to the forum. Maybe not straight away, depends what day you're watching this, but I'll try and get it there at some point. But generally, I think it looks really very good. The camera definitely the sort of strong point of this device. If we move on to the battery, it's 4,200 milliamp hours, which is obviously pretty huge. It's 200 milliamp hours bigger than my Note 9, but I think my Note 9 lasted better. Some days I'm getting through the day and I'm going to bed with about 30% left, which isn't a great deal. And I think even my Pixel 2 XL would have more left than that. But it sometimes takes time for the sort of AI to work things out. And I think it did with my Note. It took a week or two for it to really kick into being its best battery life. So that might improve. On my test, it scored 93%, which is pretty good. It's right up there. I mean, it was the same as the Note 9, but I happen to know the Note 9 had only just dropped down to 93%, literally within seconds, whereas the Mate 20 Pro had dropped a couple of minutes previously. Standby time is pretty impressive though. So one night it only lost 1%. Another night it lost 4 or 5, but generally you're quite safe just to leave it on your side. So I think, you know, it quite easily will go 24 hours or more. In fact, this morning I realised I was literally a few minutes away from 24 hours and I still had 30% left, but well, 27 or something. But I need to charge because I need to upload some Dropbox videos. The 40-watt charger that comes in the box is amazing. It is fantastic that it can charge this quick. So it does give 70% charge in 30 minutes. I've done it myself. It works. I went from 16% to full in 53 minutes. I mean, for one, it's not often I'm going to be down at 16% anyway, but 53 minutes to go to full, that's fantastic. And it has, for the first time, given me the confidence that I don't need to charge overnight. What I find myself doing is charging at some point in the evening, to full obviously, and then through the night I only lose a few percent. So I start the day at, let's say, 95, 94, I go through to the evening easily, charge again at some point then in less than an hour back to full. You don't need to charge overnight. So really fantastic. It does have Qi wireless charging at 15 watts. That'll be interesting. I've not got a charger yet that charges that fast. I think one's on its way from Huawei, came free when you pre-order. That'll be quite interesting, because that's sound. I mean, a lot of phones only go up to 5 watts, 7.5 watts. Then some of the fast chargers go 10 watts. So this going at 15 watts should be quite impressive. So yeah, battery kind of, I might need to update in a week or two exactly how it's surviving. Just something else that I have to show you in the battery settings. Wireless reverse charging. You basically turn that on and it turns this phone into a charging pad. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to bring in my Pixel 3 XL. How cool is that? It's now charging the phone. I think that's pretty amazing, to be honest. One of the sort of cool factors of my Samsung Galaxy Note 9 is DeX. You plug in your phone to a TV or a monitor and you get to operate with a desktop, your phone. Everything's on your phone. You know, it's literally your phone as a desktop on a monitor or a TV. I didn't realise when I bought this, but the Huawei have their own version. You just plug it into a TV and off you go. You can, if you want, get the extensions and plug in mouse and keyboard or use Bluetooth, and it really is just like using a computer. Not massively useful for me, but I just imagine for some people that's actually really, really handy. So I'm really glad that Huawei have done their own version of that. I kind of wish it was built into stock Android. Maybe it will at some point, just because it's one of those really useful features. So in conclusion, I guess one of my bigger concerns, well, I think something to bear in mind, how often will I actually get updates? So it's got Android 9.0 now, brilliant. When the next version of Android comes, how quickly do I think that's going to arrive on this phone? From what people are saying, I wouldn't be holding my breath. Maybe it's not such a big issue for me because I'm probably going to change my phone in sort of 10 to 12 months. So when the next version comes out, I might be getting a new phone anyway, because that's kind of how I am. But some people want their phone for 2 or 3 years. That is something you need to think about. I think EMUI shouldn't be a reason not to buy the device, not aesthetically at least. I think it looks really nice in most cases. It's not that far from stock, apparently much more so than EMUI version 8. So they're going the right way there at least, that's very good. Having said that, it is a little, and I think that's janky is the word. It does some little weird little things here and there. Sometimes font sizes are weird or the font colour's not right, you can't see the text all that well. As some people have said, it feels like you're using a beta version sometimes. Having said that, I've not really felt that. I don't. Maybe I'm just not looking at things that other people have seen. I don't really have any issues with the software, but a lot of people really quite upset by it. A lot of people returning their phones because of it. So just bear that in mind. I mean, you've kind of seen mine in operation now. I've got various other videos. Just have a watch and see what you think yourself, I suppose. The device is slick and smooth. The power is there in abundance, and it shows when you're using it. It's very slick. The camera is amazing. I love the wide angle. I love the zoom. I haven't used it as much, but I do like having a zoom. Night mode is fantastic. Personally, I think the video looks great. So definitely the camera is a strong selling point if that's a big factor for you. I love the charging speed. I think that's something that maybe doesn't get talked about as much as it should, because actually it's a big factor. We haven't advanced batteries that much, but we've advanced charging a lot. Charging to full in less than an hour, ridiculous. Really good. Do make sure you've got a warranty because of the screen issues, and if you do have the screen issues, don't put up with them. Get it sent back, get it changed out. Get yourself one that's not got that issue. So I think, yeah, it's just the software is the real downer for me. Well, it's not even for me. I'm not really having that much of a problem, but for some people, I just feel I should let you know. All in all, I think it is a fantastic device with some really good features, really well made, really good hardware. And any issues that there are with the software, hopefully will improve over the next few weeks. I'm recording this at 4th of November, so if you're watching this in 3 weeks time, 4 weeks time, 5 weeks time, it might be worth checking have they had other updates, because maybe they fixed a lot of the problems. So I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments down below, but for now, my name's Andy and I'll catch you all again soon. Well done, and thank you for making it to the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, you might want to click the little fellow that should hopefully appear about here to subscribe. You may also want to check out some of my other videos, which are going to appear somewhere there. Also, come and have a look at my website, androidandy.uk. There is also a forum. Come and say hello on the forum. If you've got any questions about things or request me to review things or anything else, just come and have a chat on the forum.